Perfect.
It's aura. It's aura. It's aura.
This is the round table. Welcome to Spotify City TV Roundtable. Share the broadcast. Today promise to be another interesting discussion. Welcome. Hello, and welcome to Fortify City TV. And this is the round table. We want to say welcome again, wherever you are. Today, we will be discussing whether it is business as usual. And that's a big question. No business as usual, or reflection on the state of Liberia since Boakai's Ascension. So wherever you are, you want to make your contribution, you can send a text and you can call on the number, and we will have the number on screen. But at the same time, you can call 952-201-9287. You can use your WhatsApp. You can call us on Messenger as well, and you can also text in your contribution on 952 2019287, and you are watching the round table. We have our panel here today. We have with us Mr. Chuchu Alex Jones, and we also have with us uh, Mr. Willie Dillon, and my co-host is here all the way from Liberia, Mr. Prince Allison. Today promised to be another awesome time on the round table because I want to know whether it is business as usual in Liberia. That's a big question there. And you need to answer that question. And you can also call us on +231 777 145 145. That's our Liberian number. We want to say welcome to the roundtable. Welcome, Prince.
Yeah, good evening to good morning for your end. For good evening must end. How you guys doing?
Wonderful. Wonderful. And glad to have you with us again on the roundtable. And that's Mr. Prince Allison, my co-host. And he's also the manager at OCM Radio, all the way in Kawa, like Monrovia, Liberia. Mr. Chuchu Alice Jones, you are welcome. I can't hear you, Mr. Jones.
Hey, thank you for having me. Prince, how you doing?
I'm
Dylan,
doing okay, Chief. I'm okay.
congratulations. Hey, you got married in short trousers. You changing the trend. That's exactly what I'm going to do next. But I
I
like
love
people who
that.
think differently.
I love that style, Prince. I mean, it was just unique. I mean, just something different. Not the rest of the thing everybody do it.
Right.
I mean, it was wonderful, beautiful,
It's
You,
beautiful.
you
not a
know
usual
something?
business.
You know something?
Huh?
The people that who got
It's
all the
not
money
usual.
in the world, the people who got all the money in the
It's
world, the
not unusual.
Zuckerbergs, the
I like that. I
yeah.
like that.
What I was saying was the people who got all the money in the world, the Zuckerbergs, the Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates. Look at that wedding. It behind the house. And the one who got no money, that the one who gotta be go on top. Is
But
it something? I
you
mean, I
won't
don't get
believe
it. It's
this,
just a wedding. It's just a
Mr. Jones.
one day.
Mr. Jones. Alexi had his wedding in the yard. I mean, it was so
That's what I'm saying.
beautifully done right outside the house, and then in the compound. I mean, it was so
Very beautiful
beautiful.
wedding.
For a
Very well,
change,
very beautiful.
I've never seen Liberian wedding like that.
Right.
But it was
Good.
beautiful. I love it. I love the concept. Everything was so. You know, I
Thank
know I
you.
was there to eat some of the food, but
Right.
I'm holding you to that. You're gonna give mine later on.
Excellent. So
I want
Dylan
to
was
say
Thank
on
you.
the
welcome
Dylan
again.
was on Pussy argument the other day as the fraud expert, and he made quite a stir. So Dylan is getting real. Our own Dylan is getting real famous.
Okay, Mr.
If
Delon.
he and his friend Ben Savvy.
Mr. Delon, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for having me here today. Um, I won't be long today, but I'm glad to be here just to be able to express my views on how things are going in our country. Hopefully, it'll have a positive impact and it'll send. We're able to send our country on a positive trajectory because we have not had that in a long time.
Thank you. I want us to start this program today with something, something that will cheer your spirit, because when I saw this yesterday, it was so hilarious. It was so that nothing was so funny you know, like what I saw yesterday. I don't know what it was like that to the other people around, but it was so funny, and I begin to ask myself some questions. And I want to also ask you, what's the implication of this? If somebody gave you a gift, it should be something it should be something with a meaning. Every gift has a meaning. And you should look forward you know, to using that gift. And all the gifts are not gift that you will celebrate. But I want to look at the gift that was given to our president. His Excellency Joseph Boakai. We all know we have been hearing some stories in the grapevine about his health condition, and we all saw on screen that he slumped during his deliberation during the inauguration. But here we are, Buffer Chambers gifted him with an ambulance. What's the meaning of that? What's the implication? And he has on that ambulance presidential ambulance. So this ambulance supposed to form part of the presidential convoy when he's moving around? That's a question I need answer to. This ambulance will have a nurse and a doctor in it wherever it is moving around the place and following Honorable Joseph Boakai. Why did he see the need to give the president an ambulance and he calls it presidential ambulance? Is he expecting the president to fall ill at any point in time? These are all questions that I need answers to. And view us out there, I'm sure you can help us. You can call us on WhatsApp 1952-2019-287. You can also call us on +231-777-145-145. So, but before you start calling us, let's go to our panel and so we can discuss this. But before the discussion, bear with me. I want to put on the video so you can see the ambulance for yourself, the presidential ambulance.
We are coming live from the home of Joseph Boakai, the 26th president of the Republic of Liberia. Observing from what is happening here, it seems to be he received a donation of an amulet. So we are here to cover and see what's actually going on here. So the president is currently, looking at the gift that was gifted to him, closely looking at his right hand side. That's the former speaker, Honorable Buffer Chima. So let's see what's going to happen here today. Let's see. Stay tuned. This is the 45 City TV bringing you this coverage live from the president of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Boakai, the 26th president of the Republic of Liberia. So as they are moving towards the house, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what's going on, but let's just watch closely. Stay tuned. Let's watch and see.
That's the ambulance. And you can see President Boakai was having an inspection of the ambulance. Mr. Jules, what do you think about the gift?
It's hilarious. First of all, I think, again, this is my perspective. And let me be very clear, because I know I see a lot of people that come on my page. Some of them want to comment, some of them want to praise. Look, I'm not interested in neither. Okay, I'm an intellectual. My parents sent me to school for me to think, to have critical thinking, not to follow any crowd. Okay? Part of the reason Liberia is the way it is because everybody just follow one crowd. When somebody praise somebody, then everybody got to go praise them. When somebody criticize somebody, everybody go praise somebody. I'm not part of that group. Okay? If you think that you go into school and you're an adult, but you can't think for yourself, I have no business with you. So here's my thinking on this issue. It's laughable. It's embarrassing. Okay? It's embarrassing. You know, my mom is a country woman. My mom came from the interior. But she was able to empower herself, educate herself. We're all going to school. to know what is a joke when somebody making joke out of you, or when somebody is trying to help you. What Bobert Chima just did was he just made a mockery out of the president, and the president doesn't even know that. There's certain gifts. We'll go into the legal part, into the real ethical part, because you're not supposed to receive any gift according to the Liberian law that is more than $200. We criticize George Weah for his friend giving him an airplane. But these are the same deceitful people who, because they support Boakai, and these are the people who call themselves educated people, and now I have no respect for none of them. They're useless. They're completely insane. They will come and support it just because they're supporting George Weah. The law says you cannot accept any personal gift, whether for your office or whatever, beyond $200. That's on the book. Whether that casket they gave you as a gift, or that wheelchair, or that whatever, you cannot accept that gift with more than $200. So why would the president go embarrass himself? First of all, there are certain gifts that is not appropriate. I don't go and give somebody a wheelchair when I know the person is not in a wheelchair. Okay? What it implies is that I am implying that the person is not healthy enough, or the person will need the wheelchair. So you go and give the president an ambulance. The president went on a contest that he's able to do the job. He's healthy. Why do you need to give me an ambulance? Because they see, the Liberian, just how we just copy part of America. Because we see in a presidential convoy in America, we see the ambulance. But that's not a person, that's not a gift. That ambulance in a presidential motorcade is not just for the president. Okay, it's for the whole convoy. All right. Besides that, they have what you call biohazard material car in the convoy. They have communication devices and tracking in the convoy. So those are not things are personal for just the president. So giving the president an ambulance to me, and the president going over there and say he's going to accept the ambulance, is an embarrassment. It shows that this president is just a man who, they say, a countryman that refuses to learn and know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, because number one, it breaks the law, and number two, it's inappropriate. If you need ambulance in a convoy, then put that in the budget and get one. You don't need to get it from buffer chambers. But Liberian people, they're so used to handout. They're so used, public officials, so used to taking things from people. They use the office to take things from people that they can't say no. That's part of the corruption. When I say Boakai is corrupt, that's corruption right there. If you take a gift from that more than $200, that's what the Liberian law says. I don't care who says otherwise. So that's my position. One is a ridicule to him. Then he goes there too and happy about it. The man just insulted you. So maybe I should buy a wheelchair for him for a gift. Saying he let give too much. And I should buy a coffee and send it to him and say, yeah, yes, a coffee here. So, it's stupid. The people around this man can't tell him, say, no, this is not appropriate. First of all, what time you get, every time you got to go, somebody give you something, all kinds of mediocre things. You're going to go get honorary degree because you see other presidents doing it. In your first month, you even have finished doing your job to appoint people. The government is sitting down there, over 500 people not functioning. And you got time to be going to all the other small things there. Who does that? Do your job. The Liberian people you say you came to rescue, they're calling people in America begging for data. They're calling people in America begging for food. They're going all around. Young women, they're selling themselves. Young men, they're selling themselves. While you passing around, you won't go get speech, you won't go deal. Do your job. By now, you should have all your appointees. You have 3 months to do that. Why you can't do that? That's the easiest job. You're going to recycle the people anyways. You're going to just take all the alien people there, all your political people. So how hard can that be? Just take the list from alien and your Unity Party people and give it to the people there and let's move on. They don't have to take another 3 months. But besides that, you're going to go meet Buffer Chima. Any opportunity you get to go do your job, you second George Weah. That way you fixate on. And that's why our country will remain a poor, destitute country, because the leaders there are not serious people, including George Joseph Boakai. They are not serious. They take the presidency for some joke, for some platitude, for some
Okay,
grandstanding, instead of doing the actual job. Have yet to lay
Mr.
our
Jones.
economic plan,
We'll
have
come
yet
back
to
to
lay
you.
our job plan.
We'll come
Thank
back to you, Mr. Jones. Mr. DeLong, do you think there was a hidden message in the gift? Because here Buffer Chamber, here Buffer Chamber is. He was unmercifully flogged in the elections by Anthony Williams, and they called for there was a rerun, and there was a landslide victory for Anthony Williams. Now he's no longer a representative; he don't have a job, and so he decided to gift the president an ambulance. Don't you think this is an indirect message to the president that look, I need something when you doing your selection, appointing people to high places, do not forget me. So every time the president look at the ambulance, he will remember who gave him that ambulance. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think the mandate from the Liberian people, even though it wasn't overwhelming, it was a very close election. But I think the reason why things sway in the direction of Mr. Boakai is because the Liberian people wanted change. And even if you go further back to 6 years prior to that, the reason why the Liberian people voted for George Weah is because the Liberian people wanted change from that of the status quo, the administration in power at that time, which was the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, right? So I believe the change that the Liberian people needed was that they were tired of the government and the benefits of the entire society and government as a whole from being held up by a small group of kleptocrats and government officials, oligarchs, if I may, who were controlling all of the means of production in the country, and the people at the bottom had to fend for themselves. That's the system that we've seen from time immemorial. And so we were hopeful when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came to power that she was going to usher in a new era, and that didn't quite happen, right? And then voting for George Weah was saying we want something different. Maybe if it's someone that comes from the grassroots like us, maybe he will be able to focus on us. And we didn't see that happen. And so now Mr. Boakai came with this concept, this idea. He sold the idea during his his campaign that he was going to rescue them from the bad decision, the bad choice that they made. But what I see now with Buffer Chambers giving this man or giving our leader this ambulance seems like we're going back to the status quo. It's a pay for play, right? What they call quid pro quo, right? So, as you just stated, he lost his job, and he's trying now to gain favor with the new administration in order to be able to get some favor. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. And then that means that he'll be in the good graces of the government. They will tie the bill to go somewhere where he can eat, and he will continue to make things happen. But we need something different in Liberia. We need a new direction, and that's what Mr. Boakai said he stood for. So I don't think highly of this. I don't think this is the right thing to do. I think if this administration came in the door and said that they were going to bring change, we have to see change. And this right here, and many other decisions that they have made when it comes down to their nominations, who they're selecting, some of these people don't have expertise. I don't see how we're ushering our country in a new direction. We are bringing Liberia into a new fold. We are taking Liberia into the new world, whereas we can be able to compete and gain garner respect among the Committee of Nations. We'll never be able to do that if we keep doing things the way we have been doing it in the past. And I think this gift was symbolic of that Mr. Chambers is trying to maybe test the water to see if Mr. Boakai is serious about what he said. And Mr. Boakai accepting the gift is troubling to me because I don't see how this is bringing in any kind of new direction, any kind of new ideas, anything that will be able to take the country in the right direction. So I'm totally against that. I'm totally against most of the things that they have done for the last week or even after they won the election. And I'm hopeful, I'm hopeful because Liberia is like our family. So sometimes even when you're disappointed in your brother or you're disappointed in your mother or you're disappointed in your sister,
you are still hoping.
Sometimes you feel like if we can talk about this thing, maybe they'll get it on the right track. You're still hopeful, So I'm still hopeful that they can get this thing together. But from the way they have started in Liberia, to say you can tell if the Christmas is good by the way
for the
it's
Eve.
boiling. Yeah, So the Eve not looking like it's boiling right now. So I'm having doubts, but I'm hoping that they can turn this thing around.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. I'm turning this over to our co-host, Mr. Allison.
All right, thank you very much. And let me say, hats up to all of our panelists. Yesterday we witnessed the outgoing Speaker of the 54th Legislature, who been at the House since 2005, who represented the people of Plebo Southern District. And based upon survey conducted, I stand to be corrected, the Plebo Southern District doesn't have an ambulance, a place the man represent for the past 18 years. A man who served as Speaker for 6 years. Like Mr. Jones said, it's unfortunate. And this is the country we find ourselves in. That's why at times when we say these things, people feel like apparently we against someone. But the ambulance, with the instruction presidential ambulance, I think that should be given to the Ministry of State if he read a man in good faith, where he could have called Grisby and others and delivered that to the Ministry of State. But to see Buffer Chambers driving and going to the residence of the president, and the president welcoming him and going in, though having conversation, we're getting some unconfirmed information, but we are still investigating as investigators. I'm hearing that you want to become the next ambassador to Paris. That's what we're getting. And these are kickback, on the overall is not good. And to see the president, who Liberians too up and voted for him overwhelmingly, to start accepting, this kind of gift, it's not strange. The president been accepting gift, and that's just one of them. And as we speak, rather, and still accepting gift. But again, there are people in our political landscape who just feel that they cannot live without government job. And one of those is Buffer Chambers, a man who been in the House since 2005 up to this point in time, and who saw here doing campaign quite recently, parading with huge sum of dollars, thinking that he could, sway the decision of the people. And to see a student leader coming from behind, defeating him, even though he went to court, and then they talk about rerun, again, hair was, kind of bent into the ground. It tells that the rescue mission need to be rescuing the people on the right path, like you talk about. But the action from the president, like I safely say to us and those watching, it is unacceptable, it is disgusting, it is frustrating. If this speaker, the outgoing speaker, already meant well, I think that ambulance should have been donated maybe to the Ministry of Health. Because if you drive from here and go to St. Clay, other places, like the late Elder Dago said, he gave an ambulance to Grand Kidman since 2014. At the time, Vanisha were contesting doing a groundbreaking ceremony where they built a Islamic hospital in Dambala, a hometown. The ambulance I speak to you right now, the ambulance is right in St. James Park at the garage. All tire move of nothing. In the whole country, nothing. So a man who serves as speaker and understand the problem that Liberia people facing, I think he could have maybe given that to the people in the Western region or send that to Meridian County, my own county of Hillsborough. They will know that the Meridian men work for this, the government. And, but the manner and form we saw yesterday, and the president, who they are conflicting report that he is not stable, health-wise, until that can be established, to accept an ambulance. I can safely say this. President Joseph Boakai is running the wrong path. Too many things happening, and he need to put himself together as a president. And what Misha was on these things will say as he appears. Can you imagine on yesterday while carrying the ambulance, we saw scores of supporters from the United Party at that same area protesting, talking about jobs to partisan who should be given certain job. So it tells you that the president apparently he's not listening, or like you said, he live alone. So everything that comes at the hand out, you want to accept it. And that's a bad style. You need to provide, you need to create that kind of level of, respect for the presidency. Like many
And
talk about president, we are, bringing the president down and think. I think President
listen,
Boakai himself
let's
need
put
to
on
do
that
something.
video. Let's put on the video, the beginning of the
Yeah.
reason why they extended to the house of the president. They were talking with the chairman, and he also told them, well, you need to go and meet the president. When he needed a vote, he came to you guys. Now you have an issue. You have something that needs to be addressed. Go back to him. And so this is what a chairman or Tape had to tell his people.
This place where you are and what you've done for this country, you are a stakeholder. I want to say to you, the president has the power to appoint. This is constitutional right. And you as a citizen, you have a right to express how you feel. So what I would say to you, even if you want to exercise your democratic rights, to express to him how you feel, you are welcome to go and express how you feel. Don't do it in a violent way. He's the president of the republic. We put him there. All of us around here pay the price for Joe Biden to become president. Yo.
When you tell you not have people wake up,
Zayo.
people wake up,
And so I would say to you this morning, don't worry about me, I'm okay. I'm pretty fine.
we are not fun.
But if you are not fine, I would say to you, go and express yourself. You are not satisfied. Go to the president.
The hope of the ordinary people depends on you.
You are not satisfied. You are not satisfied. Nobody thought that Unity Party was going to win this election.
Not at all.
All ordinary people like you took on the challenge. Oh, yeah. In your community, some of you were threatened. Oh, yeah.
Grandu Kande. No more souls.
Seriously, I want to this one.
I lost my house, I nearly lost my family.
Yes.
But the same JMB presidency
Yes.
finally become president.
Where?
We will want him to succeed. It's too early. I know how you feel. But it is also your right to go there and tell him how you are feeling. But do it peacefully. He's the president of the republic. He must be accorded the respect that is due him. Don't worry about me. I'm okay.
Whoa, we're going to take care of.
If he will change his mind for any service, we are here. But let GMB and any Liberian leader be reminded that it's no longer going to be business as usual.
No way. Thank you.
When the people put you there, you got to listen to them.
Yes.
So go and express your feeling, how
Yeah.
you feel about this and what's going on. He's a wise man. He's a man who listens.
Yeah.
I don't think he will see you at your gate and ask the soldiers to beat you. You are the bosses. From GMB to everybody. We wait for you.
Sure.
We wait for you. So if you are not happy about anything, you got to express it. Going forward, let Liberian leaders know that the main bosses are the people. And when the people are not happy, the leader will not go well.
Yes.
That's what play we pass.
Rescue mission business.
That's what play we pass.
One chairman business.
That's what play we pass.
So I want to say to you, go there. You must demand you want to see the president.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. When it was time for the campaign,
Yes.
he came to you and said, you're main president, you will see what I will do.
For sure.
And you gave him the mandate.
Yes.
Go there and demand you want to see him. Just be peaceful. I am very sure he's going to listen to you. Yeah. Don't be violent. Okay. We made the president. Oh. He will listen to us. Okay. Go in peace. When I meet him, I will come and speak. Thank you. We are for the ordinary people. We brought about this revolution for your upliftment. And no human being born of woman will hijack this revolution.
That was the voice of the chairman of the Unity Party. And we'll go back to Mr. Allison so he can conclude on exactly. Oh, we lost Allison over there. He will be back.
So what's that gentleman's name?
He's Tape. He's the chairman for Unity Party.
Very sound man. If we have more people like that in Liberia, we'll be making progress. If we have people like that appointed for position, we'll be making progress. Why is that? And I think he's a reverend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a lot of respect for him. Number one, he allowed the press to be there so everybody can hear what he was saying.
That's right.
Number two, he told the people the right thing. When
Exactly.
Boakai wanted to be president,
he went to the
came
people.
to you guys.
Yes.
Okay. Boakai should listen to that man. You know, I hear the not silent John Molu because John Molu is not falling in line with them. But Boakai should listen to people. If you want to succeed, you bring people around you who will criticize you and people who are around you who will hold you accountable. He's holding the president accountable. His responsibility is not appointing recycled politicians. He don't order anything. His responsibility as a leader of the country is to those people. How will these people eat? How will they put food on the table? The things they're asking for, is it irrational? You wanted to wait for 5 years when you build your 4-lane road from the Tugger Bridge to Freeport, that when the people will eat? I'm surprised more people are not going to his house. If you're a young person in this country, you don't have no money to go to now they're seeing $7 for credit or whatever. You are behind Boakai. You know, you are causing some of us who said Boakai was useless politician. And now you want somebody, you want Sean away from the decision you've made. So you go to the Boakai. Let the Boakai help you. You go to his house and make sure he's seeing, because you know what? I'm not going to get $16,000. But I'm going to get $10,000. He's going to send his children to America. He's going to build a house and put a big fence around it where you can't even come there. Boakai already renovating a house. He got an ambulance. So when you say, yeah, go to the hospital, you and your children now are going to be the ones who suffer, and you sit there, you keep quiet. You think in Europe that you talk about. Have you seen the demonstration in Europe? Have you seen protests in Europe? The people then took all the cattle and put it in the middle of the road. All around Europe, Australia, France, Belgium, thing. And they will have to meet the demands. And that was just because they felt that the farmers wasn't getting enough aid in the treaties. So you want to sit down in Liberia and keep quiet where Boakai be getting PhD and be appointing Mandela Cooper and all these people, then why they can collect money from government, and you that were putting yourself all out there can't sleep, causing George Weah, causing Alice June, causing everybody, and now you don't have no food. Alice June got making a living. Go to the Boakai, make your voice heard.
So it brings us back to our question here. No business as usual. So is this not a semblance of business as usual?
Because we saw this. I know. Let me finish with the point here, right? Yeah, just the last point here, because I think we're not doing it like bring people a service, like, you know, to sugarcoat the issue. I heard Prince talking about Buffett Chambers may want a position. Of course, Buffett Chambers needs to seek position whatever way, bribe whatever way. You cannot hold Buffett Chambers responsible for the lack of discretion of the president. Okay? everywhere around, everywhere around Africa where there are good leaders, you see Paul Kagame going to go take personal gift from someone. You see, Mohammed Abdullah, or what his name, from Burkina Faso, taking personal gift. So Boakai is the leader of the country. He's the head of the rescue team. He is responsible. Whether somebody one can bribe him, whether Buffett Chimo one position, we act like we're afraid of Boakai. We're not afraid of Charles Taylor. We're not afraid of Doe. Charles Taylor was killing all in Liberia. We're not afraid of him. We could go in the street and protest against him. What's what the old man everybody afraid of? You talk about people then who think that they should stay in government for the entire life. Does not that represent Boakai? So why should Boakai wants to stay in government forever, a whole 40 life until he die, but Buffett Chimo must not stay in government all his life? That leave the double standard thing here. Boakai is a useless politician, and he's not going to change, and we can see the record. He's responsible. Say Alex Jones said it. Say Alex Jones wrote it. He's not doing anything for the country. The people will continue to suffer, and only the few people around you will enjoy. So you can get vexed that your business. Boakai is a useless recycled politician that has no ability and knows no other way out of the box than patronage, tribalism, and partisan, putting people into position who his friends and his people. And you can see that already in 2 weeks' time.
You gotta be careful now how you talk about the president. The vocabulary, you gotta be very selective. Okay.
Vocabulary. Tell me what they're talking about that. What vocabulary? The president getting useless.
Let's go to Delon, Mr. Delon. We are talking about no business as usual.
Okay.
And we see that the campaign promised that our president was going to push for, the war and economic crimes court. Now we see that we saw previous government, the CDC-led government, from the onset they were talking about that. Later on, they decided that they won't have any part to play, in that. Now we are seeing the same trend. If you look at social media, we see that Boakai people are now saying they don't want business as usual. I don't know whether they are all threatened by Prince Johnson when he made a statement in his church. Let's just play the video. We are talking about no business as usual. The honorable man said no, there will be no business as usual, but it looks like business as usual is taking place. So we were talking about war and economic crimes court. Now people don't want it anymore. They are shying away from it. Is it based on the statement, the threatening remarks that was made by Honorable Prince Johnson? Let's listen to the video again.
Are you not happy that Jasper Bay is the preacher of Jesus? He is rested by the Holy Ghost? Are you not happy? Are you not happy? Those who wrote the speech, I was so sad on the bishop sometime. In November Sunday, everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing for the effort to bring a new regime. Then we sit down with happiness. You go write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's struggling to read. Then before that, I will tell United Nations, I will tell US, I will bring 1 gram for you. Because you think 1 gram for Prince Johnson? And by the time the old man was reading, when he got to the place, that's it. Because in this country,
that was Honorable Prince Johnson. He made mention of the president's speech, and in his speech he talked about war crime court, and he was also mimicking the president, concerning the moment he had, the moment of. So I just want to come to this question: is this not business as usual? Because now we don't want to, Mr. Dillon. I want you to talk to us on that. We were talking about war crime code. Now nobody wants to talk about it because Prince Johnson is against it. That was the reason why he made mention of it in his church. He's against that. Even though he say it's not coming for Prince Johnson alone, no, we know that it's not coming for you alone because there were a lot of people that committed atrocity and murder. So of course, it's going to be, it's going to be open for everyone that took part in the war. So now, the previous government did not, settle for that. This government is also, from the way things are looking, is also shying away, or that's how we feel right now. What's your own opinion on that?
Well, I think what we're watching here is indication of something bigger than we are actually realizing, right? And this thing that we're seeing, the reality of it could reverberate through the entire government, through the entire society, to the extent where it could lead to instability. And the reason I say that is what we've seen is bickering, right? We see bickering from Prince Johnson. We see bickering from the party chairman. Now, these people all formed an alliance going into the election. The reason we have Jeremiah Kuhn as vice president is because of influence through Prince Johnson or by Prince Johnson, right? Because they wanted the Nimba County support, right? The party chairman represents the political ideology from which Joseph Boakai came from within to present himself to us. So now when you see this alliance taking different trends, then you have to start asking the question, who is really in control? Is Mr. Boakai really in control of his administration? Or is it that maybe due to maybe the age, maybe the strength, physical strength and dexterity, the lack thereof, there are other people pulling the strings. Now, if you're running an organization and you don't have a strong tune at the top to guide the organization, of which the government is the superstructure for any country, any society, right? If at all, the tune at the top is not strong enough to guide the direction in which the society should go, that is a problem. And if at all we can't solve that problem, that could lead to instability, it could lead to power vacuums, it could lead to infighting even at the top. And at the end of the day, we won't be able to realize our economic goals, and we won't be able to experience and realize true progress. So I know, sometimes it's the hot news, the hot press of the day. Oh yeah, the other person argued with the other person. But if you really look at it, it shows that there's instability within the power structure. And the president himself may not even be in full control of this. And that is troubling to me because, these people at the top, some of them are comfortable enough where regardless of what happens, they will be comfortable financially and so forth. But Man Benu in the market, Mr. Flomo that pushing the rebound, if the system doesn't work properly and we're not moving in the right direction, those people suffer even more. So for me, I'm very concerned. I feel like this shows some sort of infighting, and this infighting can lead to instability. So I'm pleading to the president now to get his act together. You know what I mean? And make sound decisions that would lead to progress, the trajectory of the country in a positive direction. At this point in time, I don't see that. I don't see positive decisions being made. I don't see a strong tone at the top that shows a sense of direction and leadership. And with the lack of that, I mean, we could spiral in the direction that at the end of the day, we all may regret. So please, like I said, I'm pleading with the government, the administration, the party. You guys get your act together and let's start trying to make decisions for the best of the everyday Liberian instead
Thank
of
you.
what's best for the political expediency and political capital, or what's best for your pockets, or what's best for the hierarchy at the top.
Mm. Thank you, Mr. Othello. Okay, Prince, you want to take one question?
Yeah, sorry for going off. The internet basically the country is a problem. But each of the water economic crown code is something that we've been talking about since the inception of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, ascendancy to the presidency in 2005, 6, and the George Weah government came and we saw Prince Johnson supporting him in 2017. Uh, During the inaugural speech, the president talked about something concerning the War and Economic Crimes Code. May not went in detail. So when we listen to PURJ, let's go on Sunday 7 where he try talking about it. We can simply say that PURJ will only support somebody because of not wanting to. That's very clear. But again, I want to put a question forth. Can an individual alone, like PYJ, start the entire process? What become of the 55th legislature if we really think that this thing is important? What do you think will be the role of these people in making sure that we address this particular water economic crimes code issue? Maybe Chuku can answer that.
What was the question? Please repeat that question.
My question here is, we talking about the war and economic crimes code is like been surrounding the president and past president and now Joe Boakai, for all indication seems not to be willing to support this thing. So I'm asking, is it possible that the 55th legislature, talk about this thing and let's see the way forward regarding this? You think it's possible?
Okay, let me get a stab at this because my time is limited. I should be leaving shortly. To be honest with you, you see, it's not just a war crimes, the war crimes and economic crimes court, right? War and economic crimes court, right? And our country has gone in the direction where we have people who are on the sanctions, and that's an economic crime. For economic crimes, who are senators, and those people are decision makers. We got people who are being targeted by sanctions as well for the war crimes, political crimes, things of that nature, who are also policymakers, right? So I think that's insane, that our country could look at someone who is seen as a criminal internationally and then elect them in order to make decisions for our best interests, right? At the time where we produce nothing and we depend on the international community for everything, right? So at the end of the day, I have no confidence at all. I do not believe that if it's up to the legislature to pass laws and usher in the war crimes and economic crimes court in Liberia in order to, try those who committed those crimes in order to have them ushered off the stage and bring in a new era, they would never do it. It's like you asking me if I believe in capital punishment when I'm a murderer and I know that when I go to court, they will put me in an electric chair. I will never vote. If I'm in power, if I'm in a position of influence, I will never pass such a law. So I don't see it. I don't see how that would happen. We have to make better decisions as Liberians to vote for responsible leaders who will make decisions for the everyday Liberian instead of themselves, of which we have not seen. But it starts with the people at the bottom. Now, this administration came in and said that they would do it, but I don't have the confidence that they will, because what I've noticed about the leadership in Liberia is the leadership in Liberia forms a hierarchy at the top of the society where it's like a good old boys club and they all look out for each other. And because of that, they will not harm each other. So even when the international community is pointing directly at problems, within the Liberian society and saying these things, we have no confidence in it, because they're all one family, they're all one group, they will still look out for each other. Those things have to stop. Now, Mr. Boakai said that it was a new day, they came to rescue, but from what I'm seeing, even the alliances he formed in order to get into the presidency are all questionable. So I don't have the confidence, but as I said, I hope, pray, and remain hopeful that, you know, those things would happen. But based on what I'm seeing, with the donation of the ambulance and everything else that's going on, is that we're going down the path of business as usual already. And on that note, I will wind down for the day, and thank you guys for the time.
Thank you, Mr. Delon. Thank you. And we'll see you again on the round table.
Okay.
We are rounding up, so we'll go back to Mr. Jules.
So
Do you
what's
have
the
another
question?
question for Mr. Jules, Mr. Allison? Is it the same
Yeah,
question?
just to follow up, let me ask Mr. Jones. It appears that many times the issue of a war and economic crimes code, we like try to place this squarely on the presidency, meaning the executive. But we got a bunch of lawmakers at the Capitol building. Why don't you think that we may shift the blame on them because they are the direct representative of the people who voted them?
Well, one is, even if the legislature were to enact a law for war economic crimes code, the president will still come before the president's desk. So that's why the vision of the country lies with the president. That's not the legislature responsibility for, foreign policy and economic policy and, security and things like that. So that's why, to answer your question, because the president is the only person who can, approve a law for such establishment. So a lot ways saying, look, you can have a very ineffective legislator and still develop a wonderful country and still grow the country if you have a good president. It's happening right now in Argentina. The Argentina just elected a leader that within a few months, even the IMF is praising him, which is very unusual because he first thing he came fired all the old people were gone. He had a chart. I mean, I'll show this video one day. And he just went off and said, this one gone, 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 gone. All the old people, all the infected people. No meeting, no nothing. That's a man who comes to power is ready. So when you see a president that bringing in useless politicians, the Kofi Woods that have been around, they take you from what you call planning. You don't perform. They move you to the public work. You don't perform. Now they put you to not. First of all, why did they take you from the first place? If
Well,
you did
we,
not.
we are in a visual cycle.
Yes, I'm sorry for you guys. Liberia is going nowhere. We said it. Boakai cannot lead this country. Something you can give yourself all the euphoria. You can have positive thinking, but if you have positive thinking that you can run 30 miles, it means nothing. You cannot, especially at your age or our age. You understand what I mean? So
I'm
you can
getting you.
pray
I'm
all you
getting you.
want, pray. God is not going to perform any miracle because God is not a voodoo person. You put good people, you get good result. You elect a good leader. I think it was in the Bible where the people say they wanted a king, right? And then God get a king, and they start
Hmm.
suffering and crying. So that who Liberian wanted. You say you wanted Boakai. That Boakai you say you want, you're gonna get Boakai, and you're gonna get all the inefficiency, all the suffering that comes with electing a man. Like I said, past experiences shows that he's not capable. He's not. He's an absent-minded leader. He's been told what to do. He's been jerked from one place to another. He don't have any plan for the country. He can't even select his cabinet. He can't even conduct a proper inauguration in a respectable manner. At least George Weah was able to do that. It's a shame that we got to kind of say at least George Weah were able to appoint people with all any hiccups. This man, the man is too old. He does not have the ability. Even when he was young, that was not his expertise. I want to end with this last point. I hear more Ali is going to public work. You got all the young boys then from Unity Party now all hanging around Morovia looking for a job. What qualification does Mo Ali have to run water and sewer? You see, there's someone why the country is the way it is. So just because you got to reward your party man now, so you got to take in. They did the same thing with Kemi Weeks, Honor Ellen, the main chairman of water and sewer. You get clean drinking water today, a country that 176 years old, because you
You can
taking
tell
local people,
177.
177. You taking people and they're putting them there as a patronage. Oh, that man was part of my campaign. He was speaking for me. Mo Ali has no experience in water and sewer. He's not an engineer. I'm not an engineer, but I got an engineering degree. Okay, I got a civil engineering degree. I can tell you, area of water and sewer. When you're talking about development of a country, you're talking about electricity. You're talking about water, right? Water and electricity. That's a major development in any country. And you take a novice, okay, who has sat down for 5 years on Facebook with he never ran a corporation. He never, you see, when we say these things, they say, oh, you hit on who? Somebody who don't even have a job, they're waiting for an old man to get a job that the president will hit on. You know what I mean? So that's our problem. You want to get more Ali position? You want to get more Ali position? Make him ambassador. You want reward him for his service? Get him money. But you do more harm than take a man who is not qualified for a specific technical role and you put him there because millions of people now is going to
I'm
suffer
not
for another statement.
I'm not calling of Mr. Jones. Morally is bankrupt. The main situation. You get handled.
Yeah. So you're giving people position, because all the men are party, you sit down there, okay, what would do? Let me put Fatiga to the other place. You should only put, that's a change you can do. So when I came up months ago and said these people are useless politicians, they will not do anything, I think I'm tired of being right on like brain people. Okay? I'm tired of being right. Okay, somebody say he has a degree in water management. What's his experience? What water management has he performed?
So
you see, they go back to the degree thing. Water management, the degree you're talking about, water management, that's not being an engineer. They're hydrologists, they're civil engineers. You're building treatment plant, not water management where you're talking about go build wells. That like I said, wash that. What you talking about? Wash that sanitation and clean water, then put him to public well, let him be here a sanitation. But you're talking about treatment plant, water treatment plant. You're talking about engineering. You're talking about hydrology. You're talking about civil engineering. Okay? That's not somebody you go pull who don't wash. That's why I tell you, Boakai, maybe he doesn't know anything. Because he just say, oh, the man has a degree in water management. Water management, that's what the UN train people for 6 months to do, water project. Like
We need
wash.
to do the investigation on that. That is not clear. I will do the research on that. It's not clear.
First of all, if the man had, I can challenge you, if this man had an engineering degree in water, you'll not be sitting out here in America with all job because you know how much engineers make. You know how much engineer, if you are a hydrologist or you somebody who work in water management, water treatment plant. I had the opportunity recently to consult Morgan Stanley Infrastructure Division, where they have their water plants in almost 6, 7 countries. I was not working on the what you call the engineering part, but I was working on the technology part, and I met with the engineers and the chief operating officer. It's an extensive program where they have to calculate water, how many gallons of water per day for people to drink, what the content, what the purification in terms of wash and water certificate. Please. That's why I'm saying maybe that boy got to get food without nonsense because he doesn't know better. But some of us here, we do our research. And if he had a degree in it, he should have been working as an engineer at water and sewer or as a manager of water and sewer before you come and making. Again, like I said, he's an educated man. There's plenty of other positions you can put him in. And if you don't have a position, that's where you have ambassador. Make all your party people ambassador. Pay them $20,000. They didn't get a heck out of Maria just to reward them. But what you're doing is causing more harm because you're putting it in an area that is very essential to development, and they're going to have to go there and land on the job. Then you see them now have to come to America for training. How you hire somebody and then send them to school? So the people who already went to school, they're supposed to sit down? What kind of backward things? That's the same thing they did in the past. You don't hire somebody to send them to school. You hire somebody because they have the experience and the education for the job, and they're going to come and solve a problem. So that's why we're behind. And Liberia can see the other country then moving forward. Like I said, even Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, they just built a nuclear plant that they're building in to provide electricity. Rwanda, $300 million convention center. They have an airline where young people are pilots making $150,000, $20,000-$30,000 a year. And you sit now in Liberia, you can't even get $10 a job, and you're praising a useless government and a useless president. I'm sorry. My mom didn't send me to school to be stupid. My mom didn't send me to school to be a praise singer, to see something that blue and call it black. I'm not afraid of anybody. So I will speak my mind. The same way how George Weah was useless as a president, he was not capable, and today Liberia is suffering. That's the same way Joseph Boakai is useless in that capacity of a president, and Liberia is going nowhere. Record this tape, take my word for it. The only thing they're going to do is borrow money and keep borrowing money, which we have to pay. The generation have to pay back those money. They wiped away the whole debt in Liberia, $4 billion. Within 2 years' time, we're already up $8 billion. So what you do with the revenue you collect? You collected over $6 billion in 6 years' time, in 12 years' time under the early administration. What can you show for it? George Weah spent $3 billion in 6 years' time. He can't give you one little soccer pitch for $200,000, then you clap it in your hand. Go travel around, like go to Namibia, where they got stock exchange. Go to Mali, where the economy at least is 19 billion. You talk about Liberia, 4 billion, and you got somebody walking around masquerading talking about leadership. You need to go back to school. You need to, if he had the expertise, you think he'll be sitting down there in Liberia for 6 years? You think universities would not have been calling him for speeches, for consultancy? But only in Liberia there, because most of the people that don't know better, and most of the people that are so political that they can't see nothing wrong with Boakai. But then you sit down there and suffer and complain. What are you complaining? The person you were jumping in the street for, that the person out there now not solving your problem. So you know what? Enjoy it, because I'm enjoying every bit of it. You get a job, good. Next time you think the brain that God gave you is to make good decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. We're closing. Mr. Allison,
I think I've money enough for my closing comment.
Yes.
For the Saturday. Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure here.
Yeah, let me say thanks again. Thanks to you, Mr. Jones and Dylan, who are around, and our own boss. It's been a great show, but it's kind of frustrating just to close on this one. We talk about not based on our usuals, but like we digressing, we going